What are some good internet rabbit holes to fall into during this time of quarantine? Who remembers StumbleUpon.com? You create an account. Choose your interests. Then hit the Stumble button and all of a sudden you will be shown a cool website that has to do with your interests. Thumbs up if you like that page. Thumbs down if you don't. The more you dislike, the cooler your pages get. One of my favorite things to do is look around on Google Earth at an area you never plan on traveling to. Zoom way in and learn about the small villages, communities, cities that live on completely different continents or tiny islands in the middle of nowhere. It's seriously insane how humans are willing to live anywhere. Someone in another thread recommended the YouTube channel Geography Now. I have been binge watching it for the past week. Really entertaining way to learn about all the countries in the world. My saved posts on Reddit. Take the time to go back through them and act in some way that reflects why you saved the post in the first place. Ask a Mortician on YouTube. Entertaining way to learn about the green funeral industry and confront mortality. If you love the darkness, or gallows humor, or are really curious about what happens to your body when you die, check it out. If you're into music, there are a ton of great channels on YouTube. Rick Beato does a lot of music and song analyses. Alex Ball has done some documentaries about Roland and the Prophet synthesizers. All really interesting history and information. True Cuckoo is a dude who has a ton of videos about synthesizers, drum machines and jams. Not to mention tutorials. There's so much that you can learn. I started with guitar and recently I got into synths and drum machines, and YouTube is a great place to get to learn from plenty of talented people. I missed a ton, but I guess you can do the exploring yourself. So go to Wikipedia and pick a country and look at a history of their leaders. Can be interesting to see a list of them and the politics behind it, especially African countries, cause they're wild how often they switch and for why. John Titor in early 2000s. Someone began posting on several message boards claiming to be a military time traveler from the year 2036. He arrived in 2000 on a stopover for personal reasons. His primary mission was to return to 1975 to recover an IBM 5100 computer which was needed to debug huge computer issues that would arise in his original time. Some have disregarded this as an elaborate hoax. The rub is, there is an anticipated Y2K-style computer frying event, look up Unix 2038 problem. And only like 5 people in the world knew the IBM 5100 debugging programming existed. Which was later confirmed to be true by someone involved with the project. His stories contained predictions from his timeline, time travel theory, physics of his machine, and even schematics of the time travel device. All his posts are archived. Enjoy your trip down the rabbit hole. The entire saga of Frank Sinatra, Ava Gardner, John Farrow, Mia Farrow, Woody Allen, Roman Polanski, Andre Previn, Dory Previn, Tony Della Penta, Nancy Barbato, Jack Nicholson, Angelica Houston, Salvador Dali, Liza Minnelli, Hugh Hefner, Red Skelton, Dean Martin, Marilyn Monroe, Robert Kennedy, the Beatles, etc. We all know about Woody Allen marrying his stepdaughter. But there's so much more intrigue in this history. John Farrow was sleeping with Ava Gardner, Frank Sinatra's ex-wife. A Chicago reporter once asked Ava Gardner what she saw in Sinatra. Calling him a 119-pound has-been. She told him, "Well, I'll tell you, 19 pounds is." Frank Sinatra then married Mia Farrow, John Farrow's daughter. Jesus Christ. Frank, Dean Martin exclaimed. I got scotch older than this kid. Red Skelton, the famous comedian, was one of the few witnesses at the marriage. That guy over there, Red? He just shot his wife, Frank confided to Mia right before the ceremony. Mia Farrow broke up the marriage of Dory and Andre Previn. In 1969, Dory Previn discovered that Farrow had become pregnant by her husband, which led to their separation. Andrea Previn then divorced Dory Longan during her hospitalization for a mental breakdown, where she was being treated with electroconvulsive therapy. Dory and Andre made music for both Frank Sinatra and Valley of the Dolls. Valley of the Dolls starred Sharon Tate, who was later murdered by Charles Manson. Sharon Tate married Roman Polanski, who raped a 13-year-old at Jack Nicholson's Bel Air house. Roman Polanski directed Rosemary's Baby, which starred Mia Farrow. Rosemary's Baby is what broke up Mia Farrow and Frank Sinatra's marriage, and shot Mia to stardom after Sharon Tate had previously outshined her. There's so much more. To get started, look up how Frank Sinatra got his scars. Then look up the rustic cabin incident. On YouTube, I have been viewing this channel named Horror Stories. It's a collection of short but brief real-life horror stories of people who died in the most horrible, unimaginable, and unsuspecting way. No clickbaits. On-point storytelling. Modern Russian history. Start reading about Rasputin and then go from there. Good stuff. Try researching the DuPont family. Not the medical field. Innovative part. But the upheaval incest haunted house parts. It's hard to find info because billionaires control everything, but it's there. Science channels. From entertaining to informative, science channels have been my favorite types of channels to binge. Vsauce is one of the best at this. Backyard Scientist, Mark Rober, and Slow Mo Guys to name a few. And if you're up to a mental challenge, go for really heady, concept, theory-laden channels like PBS Spacetime and Quantum Gravity Research. I've been getting into reading about quantum mechanics. I figure if the quarantine lasts a year or two I still won't understand any of it. Chris Chan. A comprehensive history edit. Guys, this blew up wholly. Shout out to Gino Samuel 2.1 for making a killer series. The Titanic didn't really sink. Instead, the Olympic did in an insurance scam ETA. I don't actually believe this. It's just one of a theory to read. LMAO. A few years ago I couldn't sleep and fell into an oyster shucking rabbit hole, and it was a live stream of this lady shucking for pearls with different colors. Kinda like an unboxing video, but I needed to know what kind of pearls would emerge. Gels Marble Runs. Watch the Marble Olympics. Web serial novels. There's lots of good ones available for free. I haven't read too many, but I can personally recommend Worm and the Practical Guide to Evil. Honestly, I just like looking up random and people I hear about from TV shows, Reddit etc. on Wikipedia and digging through connected articles. Like I looked up Kenny Rogers and after a few links ended up on Shel Silverstein's page where I learned he wrote Johnny Cash's A Boy Named Sue. I got really into watching dogs fail splendidly at national agility training competitions. It was great fun. YouTube channels, History YT channels like Historia Civilis, Voices of the Past, Invicta, Sam O'Nella Academy, History Time, House of History, Kings and Generals, Crash Course, Dan Carlin, eStory, Epic History TV, Extra Credits, Forgotten Weapons, Lemme Know, Lindy Beige, Military History Visualized, Peter David Documentaries, The Great War, The Cold War, Time Ghost History Science, Space, Curious Droid, PBS Space Time, PBS Ians, Smarter Everyday, Vsauce Spirituality, Conspiracies, Decoding Spirituality, Pursuit of Wonder, Sadhguru, True Meaning, Truthstream Media, What Do You Desire, DIY, How to Make Everything channels about film. Now you see it. Every Frame a Painting, Beyond the Frame, Red Letter Media Reviews, Cinematography Database, Jenny Nicholson Reviews, Lessons from the Screenplay, Captain Christian, Placid Cup, Ralph the Movie Maker Comedy, Auntie Donna, Bridge Stewart, Joel Hever Shorts, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, Gus Johnson, Jaden Animations Video Essays, CGP Grey, Kurzgesagt, Nerdwriter 1, What I've Learned, Zefrank and Friends Fitness, PictureFit, Athlean X, NutritionFacts.org MISC, Knowing Better History, Government, Psychology, ADV China, very informative channel about two foreigners riding motorcycles and talking about China. Primitive Technology, Rambolic, just a guy filming his walks through Tokyo and other places in Japan. I've personally gained a big interest in sea shanties. Try learning some music. True crime. Something about murderers and serial killers are terribly addictive to learn about. The ethics issues of persecuting a mentally ill person, minor as well as the eventual rehabilitation and whether they should ever be released. A truly fascinating field. Only downside is that I can't talk about these with people I know IRL. Can't imagine telling anyone, oh, my hobby, I like murders. I pop into the comment history of you poem _ your _ sprog every once in a while. The sheer amount of good quality poems being pumped out is pretty impressive.